Let's get start demo first of complete hotel management system in .NET MAUI with Firebase DB. Now see here my application is got running, and here we have a Android, and here is a desktop app. As you can just run your Mac as well as your iOS application as well. So let me quickly add a new data, means new hotel over here. So here I can add a new hotel, for example, guest hotel, and then the name would be a description over here, for example, that 4 star, right? So let me add a 4 star, and then just space, and then rating as well. Let me add a rating, for example, 5 out of 5, and then add that name of that image. So for example, this is that image name, and save it. So once you save it, it will show that message, pop-up message, and you are able to see here. You can see that save it, right? Similar, if you want to edit something, so you can just edit. For example, I want to edit of this hotel. So once you click edit, you are able to see that edit form, same data is loading over here. And if I want to update something, for example, I want to update this guy, right? And also if I want to update some star, means that adding some star, right? And once I save it, now it's got saved, and see, you are getting that update message as well. Once okay, you're able to see that updated data as well, right? Similar, if you want to delete, you can just delete it. So click on that delete button, you can able to delete as well. So let me try to delete for whatever another hotel, because this is that another hotel. Once I click the delete, so it will show you that confirmation box. So once I confirm, if I cancel, nothing will happen. But once I try to delete, and yes, it will got delete. Now see, it's got delete, right? So like this way, everything will work from here. Will implement. Yeah, similar. We can check it in our desktop as well. But here they have slightly different functionality. Means same functionality which will work in native, but yeah, it have something different. For example, see, let me try to add a new data. So let me add, for example, new hotel, right? And then put that some star out of 5, and some URL, means image. So let me add one image and just save it, and you got same message which will trying to save it. And once you save it, you are able to see that data. So this is the new data we have just created. And if I want to update something, for example, right click on that, see, you get that this option like edit, delete, view. So if I try to view, so let me show you first view. Once you click that view, you will see that options, right? Means the details, whatever details this particular hotel, you can able to see. If you click that go back, similar, you can just go back. So that actually I missed that over Android one. So once I tab any hotels, so it will redirect to means landing to the hotel page, and click that go back, it will go back to your main page. Like, so similar, you can see over here. And also if I want to edit something, so let me try to add this pizza hotel. So here just adding the hotel one, and rating, just down the rating over here, for example 2 rating, and also the 3 of 5, right? And just save it. So once you save it, you will get that same message, an update message, and it's also got updated. And see, this result also got updated. And if I want to delete something, so for example, I want to delete this guy, so right click on that particular row, you will see the delete option. So click on the delete, and okay, you will got that delete as well. Now see that that will delete it over here, and same thing delete it over here as well. See, Android application also got deleted, right? So same functionality will work for both all the platform app which we will implement here, complete hotel management system. So let's just start. So before we start implementation, one thing I recommend, if you first time visit my channel, go to my realworld.net real world example, and we have already covered that session by session, means step by step. So also you can look it that step by step. So you can start from here. See here, just .NET MAUI I just got it started, so you can just take it over here with Firebase DB. But yeah, without Firebase DB also you want to learn for .NET MAUI, you can check out my other session as well. So but yeah, this is that first session, this is the second session, and then this is that third session, right? So like that, actually, see, add, edit, and then delete, and then view. So all that series by also we have to complete it. But yeah, this session will complete, we will do together. So let's go for that implementation. So now let me start. So before start, what you need to do, you have to record another things, that is a Firebase console login, right? So let me quickly open that console Firebase login. This is that login. And also you are not familiar with what is a Firebase and all, right? So there is another session actually I just created in my channel. Go to that, you will get that Firebase, complete Firebase information over there, how we can create that project, how we can integrate in our Blazor application or any web application or any other application with the .NET. So you will get that idea. So now what you need to do, simply you have to log in with your whatever user, right? So with the Google you have to log in, and you have to just create a new project. So let me quickly create a project. The project name would be, for example, Mayu with uh, Firebase, right? And then quickly continue and continue and select that default one, create a project. It will take some time to create a project. So once you complete, click on that continue. Once you continue, it will land actually that project which you just newly created. So this is that newly project we have to create it, Mayu with the Firebase. And here you have to go to that build section, and in this build section you have to go to that real-time DB. So this is that section. Okay, so you have to go to that real-time database, click on that real-time database, and here you have to just create a database. Click on that create database and simply choose whatever location you want. So I'll just choose it as default. Next, and here there's a two section. One is that locked mode and another is in a test mode. So as of now I will use the test mode, but upcoming session will use also how we can restrict that user, like particular user can able to read write operations, right? So let me quickly enable on that. So once you're done, now you are getting this URL. So this is that main URL which we'll use in our .NET MAUI application or any applications, right? We can use that URL and we can easily now send the data and store the data in our Firebase real-time DB. So let me open a Visual Studio first. Click on that Visual Studio and create a new project. And here I'll choose the .NET MAUI. So if you're not aware that MAUI and all, so that's why I recommendation, please go to my watch and .NET MAUI application. So click on .NET MAUI, next, and here I'll just choose that name, MAUI app real time DB with Firebase, right? And then change to that whatever project location, next, and using that whatever framework, I'll use .NET 8. Now got created my project, and it will take some time to restore all the dependencies. And this is that default template and all, so I'm not going to details, but yeah, first we have to make sure, okay, whatever actually we created a default template, that is working fine or not. So let me run this application using that window app first, then we will run this Android app. So let me run this first. So this application is running perfectly, and also once I click, so see, it is clicky but also working. That means the default template is working fine. Let me close that. So let me change the Android one. So use whatever your emulator. I'll choose this guy and just run this application. Now got running, and once I click, now see, it is working fine, right? So let me quickly close those all and let start implementation. So first things we record in a one package. So let me quickly add one package first. Go to the NuGet package and look for what, this guy, Firebase, this guy, right? Firebase database.net, and install, apply, accept, and done, right? So once I done, Now go back to here in the application, and here what I will do, I'll configure one that Firebase client, right? So before configuration, first I let me go to that main dot page. First let me design one form where I just input that hotel information, for example hotel name and description, and we can just click that save button and it should be saved in our Firebase DB. So let me quickly here, like after this label, before that counter button, after that actually I'll just create a form. So what would be my form? It's simple form, like for example entry. I'll just add that two entry box over here. So one entry box is name entry, and here let me change to enter the hotel name, right? And then another one would be as a description. So whatever description user wants, so they can add over here. For example, enter description, right? And then I'll just use this button because I record one button. Once I input this to field, once I save button, we can get that information and save it to our DB, right? So go to that here, main.page.xml file. Here let me quickly just change that name over here on save, right? And then first I change this button. Let me remove that all that unnecessary code over here, whatever the existing one, right? So once I change, now see, I have to change the name as well, like on save, and also let me change the text save, right? And yeah, that click button also got changed. Rest of things we are good, right? So now my form is ready, right? This is that two entry box and one button. And go back to your code behind file over here on save. As of now actually I'm using just very simple implementation, like using that code behind file, but yeah, I'll use that MVVM model using that advanced feature which is community toolkit provided. Already we have create a session, but yeah, we will use with Firebase as well. So don't worry about that, we'll do an upcoming session. But now as of now I'll just keep it simple so that you can understand okay how we can actually integrate easily in our Firebase DB in our .NET MAUI application. So what I need to do now actually require that Firebase client, because that Firebase client actually to send the data and save it to our Firebase here, right? So now what you need to do, go to that maui.program.cs file here, and here I have to just register that client. So simply you have to do that builder dot services dot add singleton. I will use as singleton over here, and then inside this add singleton use that Firebase client. So this is that coming from Firebase database, and inside this actually they expecting base URL. So where you will get that base URL? Now go back to here, which I already create the real-time database, and we have this is that URL. So let me copy this guy. Okay, this is that copy option. So simply pass it over here, right, and save it, right? So this configuration registration is done. Now we are good to go to use this Firebase client. There's the way also you can just directly create the instance and use it, but yeah, that is not a good way, right? So that is fine. Now what I will do, simply I'll just inject this client and in this constructor, and I will use that. So create a property, a private property, and initialize on this here, and then we are good to go to use this guy. Firebase client dot child, and mention here whatever child nodes, right? So my child node would be for example hotel. So I'm just creating a hotel information, so I'll just create a hotel, and then use that post async method. And inside this post async method, what I need to do, I have to send that model. So what is that model? I don't have, so that model I have to just create it. So let me quickly create a model. Right click on that add folder, create a model. model property, add class hotel, and here I'll just whatever property I required this particular model, I have to just is declaration over here. So my first would be the ID, then name, then description, and then last one would be our image URL. So this is that normal property which I using over here, but yeah, in real world we have to more, right? Save it and go back to here and just simply add whatever your property you required, whatever model you required. So use that hotel, and simply I just use that property. So my first property would be this, and getting the name from that name entry dot text field, right? So this is coming from in our form, like in main.ds file. If you go to here, so see, this is this two field, the name is name entry and description entry, right? So this is I'm getting that value from here and assign to this model. And similar, I have to use that description and description dot entry, right? And here actually we getting one error. It is saying something argument cannot convert it to string, right? Because see, this is actually required the string, right? String means it is required actually that query. So we have to send as a query, not as a model. So for this, what I can do, simply see, once I mouse over, you will get this option, right? And once I click over here, you will get this namespace. So what, let me add this namespace. Once I add this namespace, see, the error has gone, and that's all, right? And then finally what I need to do, simply once I complete it, I just assign as a string.empty so that I can make it to empty over here, this two field, so that user can again re-enter all that information, right? So this is just a simple implementation. So yeah, that's all. And let me quickly build it. Yeah, we are getting fail. What is that issue? Let me quickly figuring out. So here is already contain on save, right? So somewhere on save, see, main page already we have saved, right? So go back to main page on save. Yeah, so see, I just add the name and also the common, right? So what I can do, I can simply change to save, right? And save it and build it. Now this time build succeed, right? And now first let me try to run in our Windows app. Run it. So now I'm getting one error, right? So this is something I missed that, because see, I'm using some dependency on this this file, right? The main dot page, right? And also just adding this dependency. So if I adding some dependency, all definitely I have to resolve that as well. So what I will do, simply just close that application and go to that main page. And here what I will do, simply we have to register same things also, service dot add singleton, and here I'll just add that main page and just close it, right? So that is done. Now let me try to run. Now I'm getting that running this application. See, I'm getting this two and along with this button, right? So quickly just add the information, for example, test hotel, along with the description. For example, it is has a 3 star along with 4 out of 5, right? It's the rating. Save it. So once I save, it is saved successfully. And let me check the database, because as of now we are not binding. So if you go to that real-time database, if you just expand that and expand that, now see, whatever data I just added, I'm just getting this data over here, right? So now we are going to bind this data in our application, because now easily we have easily just added, right? So this is the way how we can easily add. Let me add one more from that, not here, let me add from that Android application as well. So let me open this as an Android application, run this application. Now deploy successfully. It still is try to run. Now it is running perfectly. And let me add another hotel, for example, Paradise, right? Paradise. And this hotel would be rating is 3 star, and along with the rating 4 of 5, and save it. So once we save, it's gone. That means successfully saved. Let me check in the database. So there should be two data. Yeah, see this one, this old one, this is the new one, and coming from this Paradise, right? So yeah, that means it's working fine in this window and as well as an Android. So now we have to get the data and bind the data in here, whatever data we have added. So that data we have to bind in this collection over here in this same page, right? So let me close that and go to that main page.xml file. And here what I need to do, first I'll just create a one method, right? Like for example, public async and task, and then create a method, for example, load data async, and then I have to just implement to retrieve the data for here. So again, it's simple as like be done, right? So using this client, so in this client dot the child, and then pass whatever your child node. So my child node would be the hotel, right? So which I already see, we have seen, right? So this is that if you see, this is that child node. So this is a hotel, and in this hotel what I can do, what would be a return type, right? So as observable, so using that as observable, and what is that no model, we have to retrieve and map that over here, right? So that would be our hotel, which I already create as a model. And here once that as observable, we have to use that subscriber. So inside the subscriber we will get all the data. So let me create a lambda function over here. So for example, item, and this item we have to use this guy, right? And in this guy what I can do, I have to just try. First let me check, like, okay, this item, it should not be null, right? So let me check as a if condition, if item dot, actually it is written with this item dot object. So item dot object, it should be not null, then we can store the data over here. So let me quickly here, yeah. So now I have to whatever, now I get the data from this object, right? Whatever that objects, it is a returning the hotel object. So I just add it in our list. So for that, actually I just create a list over here quickly. So let me quickly create a list before that over here, and the private in memory list. So this is my collection list over here. I'll use that observable connection like my list, and just create a new instance of that, so that it should not be null in first time. So in this list what I will do, simply I add all the data over here, list dot add, and then this is that object I have to pass over there. So whatever data we'll get, I have to just add in this observable list. That's it. And then finally close that. And once I close, right, so that's all. So this is simple implementation. And this load method I have to just call on our lifecycle hook. So either you can just call on over here, like once in load your page, so you can call it over here, or either I will use, this is the overload, there's a overload method on navigation change. Yeah, see, on navigation too. So every time it's navigating this page to here and there, this actually event will fire, and I can simply call this guy as a over here as a async await, right? And then simply call it. That's it. So now we are get the data and storing the data in this here. So now we have to design to be show in our in our this XML page, right? XML main.xml page. So go to that, and here I have to just design after this button, add button. I have to just design that collection view. So what I can do first let me create a collection view over here. So this is my collection view, and close that. So this is my collection view, right? And in this collection view I just simply bind my model, my this guy, right? Observable collection. And in here I have to just design. So I'm not going to design because I just using as a design, as a template and all. So let me quickly use this template, right, inside this collection view. I'll explain what we are doing. So see, I just using this collection template and using the template ID, template data template, using that grid, and grid just specify what is that column and here, right? And also we'll use as a image, right? And this image actually we have to just try to bind as a directly from this local source, but yeah, in real world you can get from this model and you can just bind in that image to directly over here. And also see, I using that one level where I just bind this name, and another level will bind in the description, right? So save it, build it. So build succeed, that means there is no issue. So first I will run with this window app. So choose that window, run this application. Now application is running, but see, I'm not getting that data, right? Whatever, because already we have entered two hotels, but the two hotels should populate over here, but that is not populating. That means I missed something. So what I have missed, let me check quickly. So first let me quickly debug over here. So whatever data we are trying to get store on here, that is properly storing or not. Let me check it. Let me stop that, run it again, and application is running. Now it is reaching over here, and now see, I'm getting the data, the test hotel also getting, and it is got stored, that is fine. Then again I'm getting another data, that is a Paradise Hotel, that is also fine. That means data is properly storing, but binding issue, right? So let me close and see what I miss. So over here, see, I miss one thing actually in this main page.xml file. Here actually that context binding, actually that I miss that. So I have to just binding context. So binding context and use that current keyword, this keyword, so that whatever db or whatever properties and all, so that should be binding over here in the initial level, right? So that is done. Now let's see, run this application and remove that debugger point over here and continue. So now once I continue, now see, I am getting the data, but this is image is empty because I have not image as of now. But yeah, from the data's perspective, it is working fine. Let me add another one. For example, pizza hotel, right? Pizza hotel, and star would be the 5 and 5 out 5, right? And save it. Once I save, see, it's automatically got populated over here, right? So that means for data's perspective it's perfectly fine. And let me quickly fix that in image one also, remove that, and go to here. You are able to see the resource folder, and in this resource folder, in this image, let me quickly add one image, existing item, and use my existing folder, use that all files, and this all files I will use this hotel image, add this image, right? And that is fine. And already also we have just configured that image name. Yeah, we just add this source as a my image name, save it and run it. Now I got one error. What is that error? So see, yeah, there is a one error. It is saying whatever image name I just added, that is wrong. Actually, image name should consider as a small name. So let me quickly change that. So edit, run it. So now it's loading, and now also see image all populated. So but yeah, this is a static image, right? So that also can populate it the same way for population, right? So this is fine. And now let me add another hotel, for example Humania, and that name is star would be as a 3 star and 5 out 5. Save, and it should be populated. Now see, I'm getting that whatever that new hotel is called. And same things we will check with our Android one. So go to that Android one, change that Android emulator, run this application. Now it's a start to deploy it. Now it's deploy successful, and also we are getting the data, whatever the data that over here. And let me add one more over here. For example, new from Android, right? Android hotel, and then add a star, total 5 star, 5 out 5, and just save it. So once I save it, it should be populated. Yeah, see the last one, it is a newly we have added over here. So let me run side by side both application, Android and desktop app together. So for this, what I can do, I have to just close that application and stop that. Actually, for both application, we have to run in one machine. So in that one debugger mode will not work, right? So without debugging, actually we have to run these two applications. So first, let me run this without debugging. Yeah, now Android is running. So similar, what I will do, simply change to window machine and run it without debugging. Now this also is running, and let me side by side. Yeah, so here, see all the data from here as well, all the data from here as well, right? So let me add one more data over here. So from desktop app, and then rating would be here 5 out 5. Save it. Yeah, see from desktop is there, and also from desktop is there. Similar, if I add from here, for example, final Android app, and then add my rating. So this is my rating, 5 star, also 5 out 5. Save it. So it should be populated over here. Yeah, final over here. Also, that should be, yeah, this is that one. And also we can make sure to our DB as well. So that should be, see all the data. This is that final one. So like that, actually very easy. We can implement our now Android app with this Firebase DB and without any issue and all that. And let me start to implementation. So first, uh, before start implementation, you have to record one package for that MVVM. So right click on that project, and let me add that package name. Go to that browser and choose that package. So this is that package, community toolkit. So let me zoom in for you. So this package we required to implement that community toolkit for MVVM. So install that package. So once you install, now go to that solution, and here what I will do, first of all I will just create a view model, because that MVVM we have to interact in our XML file using that view model. So let me create a view model first. So create a folder first. Let me call it to view model, and inside this view model I'll have to just create a main model over here. So let me call that model name over here, view model. So create a class. So this is my main view model which will interact our main page XML file. Let me add, and now what I will do, I have to just inherit, just let me make it public first, and then I have to inherit one class, that is a observable object, right? So ideally you can just inherit class by class, right? But that is not a good way, right? So we have to create many model in our view model for that upcoming session. So what I will do, I will keep it as standard. So right click on that, I'll just create a one more base view model so that I can inherit that guy. So let me quickly create a view model, base view model, edit, and inside that I have to just get it from there and go back to the here and add it over here, right? So this is done, and make it public, and go back to our main view model, and here simply inherit that base view model. Now we are good to start our MVVM approach over here in this main view model. So what I need to do first actually I just create a constructor, so that I have to just record that Firebase client. So let me quickly inject that constructor over here, constructor injection for Firebase client, make it that Firebase client variable, and make it private property and assign to our constructor. So that is done. Now we are good to go to use this Firebase client to get all the data. So what I need to do, I have to just simply if you visit my previous session, so go to that main dot code behind file over here. I already just create that method, the load method, right, which will interact the data and getting the data. So same things I have to record. So what I will do, simply just get it from here, cut from here, go back, and simply I have to just create it from here, right? So we have just created this method which will interact the data and getting the data, and also just bring back that hotel model. So getting back, yeah, bring back the total, and then we are good. Now whatever that response we are getting, we have to adding in this observable collections, right? So we have to just create a observable connection over here. So let me quickly create a name of that observable connection, that is something this, right? Observable collection hotel, and then make it that hotel list, right? And this property we make as a observable property. So this is actually that functionality, or this is that approach actually when you use MVVM model. So you have to declare whatever property you want to use, so just set it observable property, so that it will make all that on change event and all handling itself, right? So if you knew first time MVVM approach, so go to my previous session, not this previous session, but yeah, my Mayu session series, so you will get that idea how we can actually why we require this observable property, right? So I'm not going to details, but yeah, like this way we have to record, we have to make it observable property for this collection. So that is done. Once you're done, now we have to good to go to use this guy to here, right? So all that whatever response we are getting from Firebase, we have to just add it to in this hotel list, right? So that is done. Now we have to do little changes over here, so that there is a actually it is returning some data, uh returning some data, but it is not updating in our ID. So we have to update our ID. So for update ID, what I need to do, simply I have to just modify this object, like item.object to item.key, because key has a ID which is returning in item.key is a returning in our if you go to this guy, see, this is that key. Every hotel has a key, and then in this key has a collections, right? So these are the property, but ID we have to binding in ID our UI, so that in the upcoming session we can handle our add, update, delete, and anything, right? So that's why we ID record. But yeah, there's one error. Why this error? Okay, so this error actually this is a string. So these are key is a string, but we have to we actually already made the property is a integer. So let me quickly change this property as an integer. So go to that model, go to that hotel, and here make it that string. So that is done. Now go back, it should be gone. Yeah, that is done. And one more thing actually I will update over here, that is just image name. So as of now, but we using as a hard coded image, but yeah, that also if we have a server, or we have that you know source where we have that image, so we can use that URL as well. So up to you, you can use it. So this is done, that load async done. And also what I will do, I'll simply make it this as a relay command, so that I can use this as a command, right? So that is set, that need to set in this relay command property for this load async. So that's also done. Now we are good to call this method in our view model, mean our main page, right? So go to that main page. We'll come back over here again, but yeah, let me just design first in our XAML file. So whatever design we required, actually, see, whatever the existing things, let me quickly get it from here. So quickly remove everything. So now we have to design from that is scratch, right? So let me remove that. Yeah, so what I will do, I have already that design, so I'm not going to writing that code. So before that, actually we have to, whatever new model we have to just create it, right? This main dot view model, so that we have to adding in this namespace so that I can use it. So how we can use it? So simply this guy, right? Xamelans, and then we have to use view model, so make it that. And then just look for that view model. So what is that view model? So this is my view model. Once I adding, so see, adding that namespace along with your view model folder, so that I can use that view model. This is one setting. Then another things also we have to take in care over here as a type. So let me quickly add a type, which type actually I'm trying to use over here. So x dot data type, and in this data type we have to use that view model, which we have to just created this guy, right? And then whatever view model I want to use data type, so that I have to use. So I will use for this page main view model, so I have to just add this guy. So this is one setting, right? These are setting we have to record, so that we have done. And one more thing actually we have to add, like this model, right? Because this model also we have to bind in our collection, so that I will add. But yeah, before that, let me quickly add some design first. So first design would be, as we see in the demo, and the top we have the add button, right? So let me quickly add, see, this is that add button. I use the shell dot title view, and here just simply I add this add button. And it is also we have to create that add hotel command. But yeah, as of now I can leave it because it is not part of this session. I'll just create another session to add hotel, where I can just click the add hotel add button. Will get that that form, where I can fill that all the information, and will save it. That data will be stored. So that is a add and update operation that will taken care in later. But yeah, only just design perspective I'm just adding over here. So that is done. Now what I have to do, I have to just create that complete design for that list binding. So let me quickly copy paste over here, because this is a very huge design, so I'm not going to create over here. But yeah, I'll explain what we are trying to do. So see, I just create a grid, right? And we have to specify the column and row, right? And then we have to use that refresh. So in, if you observe in our demo, once I just scroll down my Android application, so it is got a refreshes. So that's why we have to use this refresh view. And this refresh view also we required, we have to create refresh command, and as well as that this flag, right? And then we have to create one collection view, and this collection view we have to bind this list total, right? So as of now, see, whatever I have just created, so let me see, this list total I have just created, right? So if you go back to view model, so this is that list hotel, right? So that we have to bind over here in the collection, right? And then we have to collection template, and here the data template actually we have to define. So the data template we have to define actually, this is that collection, right? So if you go back, so see, this is that collection, but what data type actually we have to use? We have to use that hotel, right? Hotel is a model. So where is the my model? Here is the my model. So that model also we have to take as a reference. As of now, see, there is a no reference, that's why it's complaining. So that reference also we have to add over here, like that x, and then is like XMLNs, and then that is a model, right? So let me use like that, and then look for that model. So where is my model? Model folder. So this is, yeah, so this guy, see, now third one, it is a namespace with this model. So this is my model. Let me add it, and it is just added the reference. So once we add, now scroll down, now see, error has gone. And once you press M, this M for nothing, just add a namespace for M. uh, and then once you just tab over here, so you will get that model name as well. So once you add the model, now you can just specify uh, your okay, so this is a delete command, but yeah, this is a swap part, so this also will be taken care in later. So as of now, just as design, I'll just leave it as now. And then I have just created another grid where I just bind our uh data, right? So like example, I just create a frame, and in this frame, see, this is that image. So whatever that property in this model, I just using that binding as a image URL. And then I have to use that name and description. So see, there's another two label I just created where I just simply bind the name and description. And the last one, actually I just created for that, go to details command. So this this will also I will just do in an upcoming session. Once I click this particular row, it will go to the details section. So that will be do in a upcoming session, but yeah, that is fine for me as of now. And then I have just created another button. See, once I this grid and refresh complete, this is another section where I just create another button which will only visible for this window. See, I just added over here is visible flag. This is a very important actually. So in this is visible, only visible for window platform, not only Android, because Android already have a refresh mechanism, right? So if I scroll down, so automatically will refresh, but window does not have this that feature. So that's why I have adding forcefully as a refresh button which will only visible in the Windows platform. So that's why I added this. And also adding this command, means this is our that command, right? So which I just created. See, this is command. So if you want to like that, so you will get that like load data command. You can simply bind. So this is the simple XAML file, right? And save it. Now we have to just implement this guy, right? This is a pending refresh mechanism. So let me quickly implement the refresh mechanism in this main view model. So go to here, and let me quickly another but command we have to create it for refresh command. So first I need to just create a flag is refresh, and we have to just make it for that, this property, observable property attribute. And then we have to create a one method which will using that relay command. And in this relay command, I have to just create that async method for refreshing. And in this async method, I have to just implement, okay, if it is true, so first time if refresh would be false, but yeah, once I inside this guy, it should be true. And then I have to just call that method inside, no I have to just call that method load async, which is this guy, so that it will get the data and it will populate it over here, right? So there is a one issue actually. See, it's always actually, see, this is a observable collection, right? So always getting data and it will adding over here. So before loading, actually we have to just clear the data so that every time get the new data and load it over here. So what I need to do, simply list the total dot, and that's it, right? So these also has been done. Now we are good to go to run this application. But once you run this application, definitely will get some error. There also we have some error. Okay, so once I just create MVVM approach, so definitely we have to create a view model, and this view model we have to make it as a partial view. To make it that partial, yeah, that is done. And once I build, let me see, is there any error on all? So there is a some error because existing implementation also there. See, the existing implementation there. So let me remove those implementation from that main.xaml file, code behind file. Go to there. See, this method also we don't require. So let me quickly get rid it over here. And also those things are not required. See, these things are not required. So let me quickly remove that guy, remove this also. Let me remove everything and then we will start from there. Yeah, so this on navigation property, this will required because once I our page navigation here and there, so it should be load the data. So that is fine, that we have to use. But yeah, for that load string data also we have to call that, and our view model, our main view model, we have to call this page, then we have to get this data, right? So what I need to do, simply again let me create that constructor over there. And in this constructor we have to just simply inject our this main view model, right? So let me inject that main view model here and simply add it over. Okay, first let me bring back that namespace and then make it that variable and inject it over here. So this is done, right? So once it's done, what I will do, I have to binding the context. Actually, this view model we have to binding the context. So let me quickly binding the context over here of this view model. So like this way, actually we can bind the context, and this property I can use as a over here so that I can get that all that method from that view model. So that's all. These things actually we have to taken care, whatever view model MVVM approach we will use. So this time we have to just inject this view model in this our code behind file, and we have to allow assign this bind context, and that's it. Save it, and now this time let me build it. Yeah, again it's fail. So let me check what are the issue. So yeah, there is a 4 error. Okay, so add command. Okay, so it is complaining. Actually we have to use add command, but there is no add command, right? So as of now what I will do, simply I have to just remove that add command. But yeah, upcoming session we will take in care that add, update, delete everything. So go to that main.xaml page, and here let me remove this command, save it, and now build it. Yeah, now this time see, everything is looks good, right? And now what I will do, I can run this application, but once I run, definitely I will get that error, right? So let me show you. Now see, I'm getting that error. Why this error? This error because I have to use this view model inside this main XML file, but we have to not register, right? So that's why it is complaining. So what I will do, simply continue, and you will get this error. See, I'll show you that this is that error. You definitely will get that error, and after that once you close, you will get this error. So close that. Okay, and then you have to register actually. So go to that mayu.program.cs file. Here we already, the last session we just registered that Firebase client, as well as we have to required those new things we have to edit, right? So view model I have to edit, so that I also registered over here. And this this view model also interact with this my main.page, so that also we have to register. So let me add the view model registration. So let me add this guy. So builder.service dot singleton, and in this singleton I'll just add that uh, main view model, right? So this is that guy. So simply I have to register like this way. And now second things, I have to, whatever view model I just using this place, so those page also have to register. So see, this is also registered, so I don't need to register, so that is fine. So let me run now. So the application is running, but see, there is a nothing over here, right? That means we have missed something. By mistakenly we have to remove something. So let me check what we have missed. So go to that main.xml file, go to that main.xml.cs file. over here if you scroll down, okay, so see in this constructor actually I just by mistake actually I remove that initialize component, right? That we have to just specify actually. So that's why it's nothing is loading, because on the load you have to just call this method, and this method actually predefined method in itself, this component, right? So save it and now run it. Now application is running on the Windows and it looks good. Everything is getting over here, right? And also some design issue, but yeah, that will be fixed in a later. Yeah, let me check for that Android as well. Let me quickly close that and change it to Android and run this application. Yeah, over here also Android, it looks good. All that also is here the refresh functionality also is working fine, right? So now we are good, and upcoming session we'll handle that, add, update, then also it's this delete functionality that also will achieve in that upcoming session. And go to the solution, and here first what I need to do, actually first I have to just create one view model for that, right? So let me create one view model. So open a new class, and here I have to just call it to that name, add and edit model. So let me add that, create that file, view model for add and edit, right? So this is my view model, add and edit, and make it to public and also partial, because we have to use as a partial. So let me that, and also see I have already created a base model. So let me inherit that base model over here. So base view model need to inherit, right? So once you inherit, now we have to just start our implementation. So first of all, what I need to do, I have to inject it our Firebase client, right? So that's why actually we can save it. So already we have to configure. Simply what I need to do, simply just create a constructor of that and just use that Firebase client, and then Firebase client actually coming from that here, like this Firebase database. And let me create that property, private property, and assign to over here so that I can use it in our method. So once you're done, now we have to good to go to use this Firebase client. So what are property actually we required for here? So we required first actually the hotel property. So let me create an observable property for that hotel, and let me bring back that namespace. So this is the namespace of that hotel. So let me bring back, and also bring back that community toolkit MVVM for that observable property. So once it's done, now further required, other two things actually required. So this is for that, add and update, we can use it this model, right? This is the model. And then what I can do, I have to just create one command, right? One save command. So let me save, or we can say it is a save and update both, right? So let me call it to save and update. So async task, and then use save and update, and just simply create that method over here, right? And we have to start to implementation. And here actually we required one more property. So see, we have to, this is a common view model which we have to handle now, add and edit both, right? So that also we have to identify actually which one call is add and which one is edit. So for that we have to create another property so that we can know, okay, which is that command, right? So what performance have to do that based on this command. So using this edit editable property, so if as it is editable, it is a true, that means, so if it is editable true, that means it is a edit operations, or if it is a editable false, that means it is a add operation. So like that actually we have to handle. But yeah, there is a many way other approach you can just use it, but yeah, I am using as a demonstration perspective, it is a simple approach. So now what I can do, simply I have to just try as a condition over here, and then yeah, so see, if it is edit, right? So what I can do, simply I have to call that have to update the data. So I have to use same Firebase client which I have to inject it over here, and in this Firebase client, so we have a child and that collection, and pass it to that whatever actually ID, right? So if it is ID, because if it is edit, so definitely we got that ID, and once you get the ID, so we have to specify over here and pass it to whole, that that hotel object, right? So this is the way to update. And then else it is, you know is that, add operation. So same we have to use for add operation, call that, Firebase client child hotel and post async. See, this is a put and this is a post, because in update we have to use put, and for add we have to use that post method and pass it to that hotel object. That's it, right? And then once you complete, we have to just specify, one message like, okay, it is save or it is update, right? So that actually we have to do. So for that actually we can just create, one property for that message property. So let me quickly create a one more message property over here, like like we can use as a fail error, or if any error and all, right? So that also, whatever name actually we can use it, but yeah, as of now I will use this guy. And what I can do, simply I have to set if it is update, if it is successful update. So what I will do, I set it as updated. Don't worry, I'll tell you what is that use of that guy. And let me same things for that, save. So this is save. So now see, it is a clear implementation, right? If it is update, so we have to call this guy. It is a add, so we have to call this guy, right? And store that message accordingly. So once it's done, now go to further, and here once it's completed, like suppose saved or update, so we have to show an pop-up message. So alert message, like it is a, you successfully save or successfully update. So that message we have to, so there is a many way we have to do that, but I will use over here as a await shell, use that shell dot current dot display alert. And in this display alert we have to pass actually that first property is a info, so I can add info. And then here, now second one is a message, what kind of message you want, right? So I'll show you the message. So this is my message over here. For example, whatever hotel I'm just trying to add, right? So see, this is object, so whatever hotel name actually I'm just trying to add, so I can edit that message over here. This is the hotel name along with whatever message, like it is a save or update. So saved and update, and it is successfully just, concatenate that our message. And here finally we can just do okay. So finally once I press okay, so it should close our display alert message. So like that actually we can do that. I'll show you another way also we can do that, but yeah, that will we do later. But yeah, it is pretty much simple. So once it's done, that is good. And now finally, once is, successfully save alert message appearing, and once you close, means okay, so go to that list page. So this is that binding, go to that list page. So use cell current, go to that async and go to that root page, right? Save it. Now we are good to implementation. And finally what I can do, one more thing actually we have to do, that we have to wrap everything over here as a try catch, so that if any exception, so we can handle as well. So let me use a try catch block over here, try, and just use this guy and just wrap it to and the end of that block over here, and just use exception, and later on whatever actually we can do, that we can do. And also just simply I can do as a fail over here. And also we can just use this guy if any exception. So let me save it over here and show it over here. Okay, so this is hotel name, and this is a message, and this is got failed, right? So I think we have to remove this guy. We don't require this guy. Yeah, so like that actually we can do that. And also it is we can say info or some warning or error. I think error is fine, so we can edit on the error. Yeah, so that is how actually we can create our that implementation method. And once you create done, what I need to do, I have to set this is a command. So what is my command? It is a relay command, right? So we have to decorate so that actually that view model I can call in our XAML page, right? So let me create a relay command. So that command got created, it will be created as a save update command, so I can call it over here. So this is actually that clean implementation. There's nothing over here. And one more command actually we have to just create it. So there is a cancel button, right? So if it is cancel button, so definitely we have to create a one go back function, so that once you click that go back function, so it will go to that our main page, right? So similar, I have to just bind it this guy. So that's it, right? So this is done. And yeah, so one more thing actually we have to do that over here. So see, I just calling this component based on this guy, right? So we have to actually set as a route parameter for that, because we have to navigate this component to two different place, right? One is add and one is update in edit call. So for that actually we have to set it over here as a route parameter. So let me quickly set as a route parameter. So this is a concept actually, that community toolkit. So if you don't know about that, so that's why I'm especially recommend go to my previous session. And also there's a many session actually covered that how we can use that this community toolkit MVVM approach, or toolkit, right? So like this. And also we have to bring back that namespace. Okay, actually by default I place in the wrong place. Yeah, we have to just keep it to before this view model, not inside that. It should be outside. Okay, so the two things. Okay, see, is edit we have to pass as a id, right? These two things we have to pass from that whatever that navigation we have to uh, route that any pages. So that time we have to pass is this two query parameter, and based on this actually we have to handle over here. So like that actually we can do that. So save it. Now our view model is got created. So now we are good to go to create our page, that content page, and we can use this guy, right? So now go to over here and let me create a folder that is views, right? So we don't have as a views folder, so let me quickly create a view folders over here. So let me create a view folders over here. Okay, and then what I can do, I have to just create one XAML file over here. So go to that new, and here let me go for that .NET MAUI. And here see there's a many template, but I have to use this guy, the XAML one, and that content page. Okay, so let me create, and also make it that name whatever name you want. So you can just keep it over here. I'll just keep it that name over here. Add update XAML page, because it is a reusable component for both, right? So let me add that guy. So once you add, now see your XAML has been created over here. So once your XAML created, so what I can do, I have to just design actually that page, and also we have to just bind our view model over here. So so let me first create that design. I have already handy, so I'm not going to writing the code, but yeah, simply what I will do, I have to just copy that design, because this is a design part. So this is a so let me add it over here. And this is pretty much a design. Now I see I using the vertical stack layout, I using that one label, and then using that entry text box, and then also using that another editor, and then also another editor, right? So one entry and then editor and then two button over here, right? So like this way actually I have to design. But yeah, there's another also nice look feel also we can create it. But yeah, for the demonstration perspective it is fine. And save it, right? And two things actually over here we have to do. So first actually I have to add that namespace of my view model so that I can use that view model, right? So how we can do that? Simply I have to do xmlns, okay, and create a variable, and that variable call it over here, and then uh, look for that view model, right? So view model, so this is my view model. So add that namespace. So this is first. Now second thing also, we have to specify the type, right? So let me add the type. So inside that here x dot data type, and in this data type use that vm, whatever vm you just created, whatever view model you want, right? So this is my view model, so I have to use this view model. So simply you can just add it over here. These two things actually you have to do that, right? So once you done, now see, once your view model you add it, whatever view model is an property, like we have that hotel, right? So just we can just bind it over here directly over here, and that MVVM model can be used. Like suppose if we want to add something or update something, so this hotel or this this property will be bind actually, right? So like this way, we simply just binding. And also this, see, this is that command, but this is actually we have to change that command name, because we have to add, see, this is the my command name, save and update command. And if you little confused, so I'll just little explaining over here. See, this is concept actually that BBM. So I just created this name, right? So let me zoom in. So I just created save and update, but if you using that relay command, right, so it automatically got append that command on that whatever method you just created. So that's why I'm using that save command, right? And same things I have to create a go back, but it is already added a command, so that's why I'm using go back command. So those things actually we have in our view model itself. So see, this is that all that command we have. This is a save command, this is a go back command. Okay, so now go back to here. Now we are good to go to run our application. But before that we have to do one more thing actually. So if you go to that our XAML page, and we have a code behind page, right? So here we have to binding our context over here. So go to that over here. I have to binding our context to over here, that is initializing actually. So how we can do that? So it is already initialized over here, but our view model, whatever view model, right? So this is the view model that actually we have to binding that context. So let me add first that view model over here. So what is my view model? Add it view model, and just create an instance over here, and just assign or just create a private property over here. See, just create a private property, assign over here. And before assigning you can just use that context, binding context, this guy. Just assign your view model to never binding context, right? So that whatever actually the data we can just edit over here. So yeah, by default I am using that public, but yeah, we can create as a private property over here, because we don't need to expose somewhere else. So we can use private read only. And let me remove this guy. Yeah, so that's how actually we have to just create that view model instance, and we have to bind it, assign to our binding context. So that's complete things is done. Now actually, still if you run this application, definitely you will get some error. So what is that error? I'll show you first. First actually let me call it. Okay, so how can call it this add and edit? So for that add and edit we have to go to that main dot page, because it have that now as I show you, once I swap, so you will get that one button, that is a edit button. So as of now, see, we have as a delete button, right? So in this delete button, what I can do, I can just create another one, that is a edit button. So let me copy this line in this here and just edit edit below and just change it to edit. Okay, and just also change it to something uh yellow. And also what I need to do, I have to change that binding, right? So see here that I'm using the main binding, that is also fine, but here that is a delete command, right? So instead of delete command, we have to use over here as a add command. Add yeah, it is a edit command, right? Because it is a edit. So let me as of now we don't have, but yeah, let me just create a edit command also, so that I can call that command and go to that page, right? This page. So first for this, actually we have to go to that main dot view model, and here I have to just create as like we have to create a delete command. We have to create that command. So let me minimize that, and we have to just create a relay command. Just create a relay command, right? And in here decorate the relay command. And once you decorate the relay command, we have to create that method. So that method actually send to that edit, because this is a edit, right? So let me create a method that is called look like this. Okay, and this is actually expecting that whatever object over here, and in this object I have to do one thing over here, like I have to just call, I have to call that page, right? So how we can call that page? Simply I can use await shell dot current dot go to async, and here I have to just pass it that that name, right? So for that I can simply binding that, right? So let me quickly bind that. So like that, see, use that name of, and what is that page actually? So this is my page. So just use that namespace, and then comma. Now see, it is a property, like okay, if you want to animation or not. So yeah, I want to animations. And then what other properties? So now we have other properties, attribute or just query parameter, right? So that we have to add, like use the new dictionary object and just pass it to as a string, and then as an object. Okay, so in this object, what I can do, simply I have to pass this two parameter, right? So if you go back to that edit a view model, I just using the two route parameter, right? So these two things actually we have to pass. So first I have to just pass to that total object. So whatever hotel actually coming over here, simply have to just use this as actually we have to use the same name, whatever route actually we have to declare, same name using that hotel object. And then this is another parameter which we have to use. See, I use this guy name, so let me add this name along with that object. So it is editable, right? So that means it should be a true. So once you true, and go back to here and close that, and let me quickly fix that issue. So okay, see, like this way you have to, okay, let me bring back this code so that you can see clearly. Yeah, so see, this is simple calling method, right? So that what I'm doing, simply I'm just calling this page, our that add update hotel page, right? And then we have to pass our query parameter. That's it. Like this way we have to call. And one more thing, actually we have to create a one more method, that is a add method, right? So if you go back to again to main page, there should be one add. Yeah, so over here we have a add button. So on the top, yeah, so this is that add button over here. and in this add button, as of now, it's nothing, right? So we have to just create an add button, and this add button will call, this command will call, and again that will call this that method, right? So let me quickly first create that add button completely as a binding. So over here, so like that, for example, from the text, and after the text we have to just create a command, and in this command I can just binding, and then our method over here, right? So as of now we don't have that add hotel command, right? So just let me quickly again another command, let me create it over here. For example, like I just copy that same over here, right? But yeah, this time I don't require this hotel object, and it should be, for example, add hotel, right? And in this add hotel, same component we have to call, right? Same page we have to call, but this time we don't have this guy, right? So in this case, what we can do, simply I can just create a new hotel object, pass it to as a new hotel object, and this editable should be as a false, like that, right? So this is simple, and once you're done, go back to here, and you can simply bind that add hotel command. See, now add hotel command appearing over here. And one more thing, actually we have to bind, that's in this edit one, right? So in this edit, see, we have to pass this guy, but that command, yeah, this path, and in this path we have to just specify that edit command, or just check it what is that name exactly. Yeah, so see, edit hotel. So similar, you have to just using that edit hotel using, and then prefix is the command, save it, right? So once you're done, now see, for that Android perspective it is fine, but yeah, for desktop perspective it is not fine, right? Because desktop will not support this swap view. So for this, actually we have to do something else, so that I will show you. But yeah, let me show you first how actually look like and how is it is actually working, right? And yeah, still some dependency issue, right? So now run it to Android application, right? So go to that Android emulator and choose that whatever Android emulator, so set it over here and run it. Now it's deployed on my Android application in Android emulator, and it's running. Okay, so what I can do, I can simply, if I just swipe out, so now see, just edit over there. Also, if you just click add, so that add should become, but it have an one issue actually, so that's why it is not coming. Okay, so this is an issue if we it is running actually that without debugging, so that's why it's not throwing any error. But yeah, let me show you as a debugging mode so that you can understand, okay, what I am actually explaining. Now see, our application is running in debugging mode as well, and once I click add, I will get that error, right? So see, this is that one error because it is saying URI it's not finding. Okay, so that's because actually I have not actually resolved the dependency, that's why it's a mess up. So what you need to do, simply let me okay, before close, because it's already closed. So what you can do, simply go to that MAUI over here, my program.cs file, and here you have to just first you have to register that view model which we have to edit a new, right? So let me add that view model, that is called is add edit hotel view model. This is one, and second thing, we have to add a new page, right? So that also you have to add over here, built-in dot service dot, let me call that page name, it is a add, and update, yeah, this add update hotel page, and register this. This is one thing you have to do that, and one more thing actually we have to do that. So once you're done, right? Registration for view model and pages. So now one more thing actually we have to do, actually we are using navigation, right? So that navigation also we have to take in care and handle it. So where we can handle, because we are using as a shell, app shell. So go to that, app shell.xml file, .cs file, and here we have to that register as well. So let me register for using routing over here, routing. Yeah, so this guy, routing and dot registered, and in this registered, how we can register it? Simply just using the type, and like this, see, using the registered method, and just mention is two property over here, two parameter you can say, and this is one is another route, and the another is type. So this is my route, right? Which page? So let me quickly add the namespace, and yeah, now like this is a look like, okay. So this is done. So if you trying to navigation any page, so you have to register routing actually over here, register routing over here. So once you're done, now we are good to go to run and should be expected result. So now let me run in a debug mode, run it. Now our application loaded, and once you click that add, now see our application uh, running perfectly with this that add page, right? And let me try to add a new hotel, for example new hotel, and just add that some name, for example this, and save it. Yeah, see, I'm getting that message, hotel edit successfully, okay. And once you save it, when you scroll down, now see the new hotel is edit, right? And if I want to edit something, now see it swipe out over here, and once you click that, now once you click edit, now see you're getting that same component which that let me zoom in, see the same component along with your data, like whatever the data. So let me quickly add or update something. So over here, why I don't know, it is just appearing over here, but yeah, I can just backspace something, and L, and then space, or just update is with one, right? And just save it. Once you save it, now see this message, it's popping is this update successful, because this time is updating, right? And now okay, once you okay, the data got updated with that new data. So go to down, and over here you can see this is got updated. So that Android application is perfectly working fine, but if you just show you, just stop that, if you run this is for in our window, so it is not working actually, because there are native event and native features over there, that Windows and Android, right? So same command, same things will work, but yeah, differently, slightly different. So if you open over here, see that is done, right? So there is a running, and if you trying to add, so add is fine, there is a no issue, because add is similar for both. For example desktop hotel, right? And hotel, and then star something, this guy, and 5 of 5, and then image something, this guy, and okay, I just 5 out 5, right? And save it. So once you save it, it is saved successfully, that is fine. And also you will get the data over here. If you scroll down, just scroll down, you will get the data, so that is perfectly fine. But see, once you swipe right, it is not appearing anything, because that swipe view, it's working only for Android, not over here, that swipe view, right? So that's why we have to do something over here, their native features. For example, once I click the right click, so it should be show some options, right? So that's we have to implement. So how we can do that? It's very simple, nothing we have to do special. So go to that main page again, and go to that main XML file, And in here we have to do add one more things. Yeah, so this is that swap view. After swap view, just collapse that swap view, and this swap view, after that it is a button, and this is button starting that grid, and this is swap template. So inside this swap view, see, this is that collection and this is the template and this is a swap view, right? So just expand that swap view, and this swap view has that our swap condition over here, right? So see, this is swap left, so this is a complete swap left, and after that is a stack layout, right? So in this stack layout, and then we have to start over here. See, this is a frame, and in this frame we have to use that one grid, right? So here actually we have to add that feature, like once you click that right click on that, I will get that fly out actually that things, right? So what I can do, simply I have to just use that layout over here, and we have to just close that flyout first. Okay, and in this flyout context, actually we have to add that context, flyout context. In this flyout context we have to use that menu, flight menu. Let me add this guy, and then also just close that guy, menu flyout, right? And this guy, and inside this menu flyout there we have a item. So let me quickly add a one item. For example, this is that one item, right? So in here, so I'm using that, see, I'm just creating a menu file item. We using the edit one, and in this edit we using that command, and in this command, see, we already bind in the swap view this command, right? So see, this is command. If you scroll down, see this guy. So we have to bind that command in view model, but in this, that flyout context actually work is differently, slightly different actually. So see, for example, we using binding source is fine, but see here we using x reference for that main page content, but in swap view, uh scroll down and show you on the side by side. Just scroll down and see, here we using something else, right? Relative source and then view model, but here we have to not use directly like that, because that is not working. Actually I struggle many things, then after that I found this solution. Okay, so what you need to do, you have to just create this name, the main page content. So where you can just get that main page content. So on the top here you have to just actually using that main page content, actually create that content name, right? So like that. Okay, x dot name, and then use that, oh sorry, so just revert back and go down and copy this main, whatever name you want you can just use it, but yeah, as of now I will use, because it is a main page, so I will use that main page. So this like that. So once you set this main page as a content name as a main page, then you can just refer over here, right? So this is, I just reference as a main page content, and then I can use as a path, and then path we have to use that binding context, and in this binding context whatever your command, like for example in our, see, this page actually itself we have to bind, right? So this is binding context, and in this binding context we have to binding that view model. So in this view model we have that command, right? So this command, which is that command, edit and update command, right? For example, save and update command, right? So let me copy this guy and go back to that page over here. See, here we have to use same command, whatever we command use over here we can use that same command. So let me copy this guy, edit. Okay, yeah, so see, this is that main view command, right? So which we can redirect to that page. So we have to call this command over here, right? So go back here and go to here, and simply you can just binding your edit command, right? So once you're done, and also you can just bind that data, complete data, or you can, if you want, you can just specify a single data as well, whatever data, like see, name, description, or ID, whatever actually. So I'll just use that, complete, because we required that complete one, right? So complete model. So that's why I'm just referring over here. So once you save it, now our desktop application also should working expected. So let me run it. So now application got running. Now see, add also we check, add is working. So now scroll down, and once you right click, see, once you right click, you will get that, edit options, whatever actually fly out, you will get it. So edit over here, you will get it. And once you click that edit, you will see that message, that now rest of things actually working same, right? The binding data and all. And if I want to edit something, for example, one, right, and one is save it. So go back, it's see, save successfully. Okay, and once you go back over here, now see, our data is got updated by a desktop as well. So both actually working fine. There's a desktop as well as mobile application. So like this way actually we can implement add and edit functionality. But yeah, in upcoming session we'll cover that delete as well as view functionality. And go to that solution explorer, and here what you need to do, first we have to go to in our uh, that main view model, because that main view model actually binding that complete the list view, right? So that's why we have to go to that main view model. And here first actually we have to just create one command that will handle that delete one, right? So go to that main view model, and in this file, in this actually view model, we have to create, as like one command. So like that actually we previously we have to create that edit command. So same things we have to done for that delete one. So let me quickly create a relay command attribute, set that relay command attribute over here. And then we have to create a one method which will expect a one ID, like, because we have to delete something, based on this ID. So that's why we require that ID. And once you create that function, also we can make it to private. You don't record as a public. And then what I can do, first you have to record that now confirmation dialog box, right? So there is a many way actually you can do. Last time we have actually I show you, we can use as a shell, we can use that shell current and display alert. But yeah, there's another way also, we can use that application that current main page also, so that you can use it. So right now I will show you that way. So what I will do, simply I will use that await applications dot current and dot that main page, because this is a main page, right? So I will use that main page, and in this main page we have that display alert. And similar in here, the title, whatever title you want, you can just keep it as a title. So I will just keep it over here as a confirm. And then the second message would be whatever message you want, right? So I want as a message like, are you sure want to delete? So that message I want to show over here. So let me quickly put at that message, and also that bring back that guy, so that you can able to see over it. Yeah, so this is that message. And then last one would be like okay, and that cancel or okay button, right? So first I will record that okay, so I will add that okay. And then we have another one that we can edit over here as a cancel. So let me add a cancel as well. So that is done. And also see, this display alert actually written as a bool type. That means if you click OK, so you will get okay, it is a confirm, right? It will get a yes. And if you cancel, that means it is false. It will return is a no, right? So what I need to do, simply I can just store as a variable over here, so that I can get a okay, what a user actually input over here, means what user actually perform. So as a result, I can store as a result. And then based on that result, I can just put a one condition. So if it is result okay, so then I can perform my operation from the DB. Yeah, this should be a delete, right? So for the DB operation for Firebase DB, I already did that. So what I can do, I can use that await and dot await. And then I am using that Firebase client which I already injected in this view model. So use that guy, and here we have a child and then in child, what is my collection name? This is my collection name, and we have to pass collection along with that. What do you say? It is for example ID, right? Which ID we want to delete. So that key actually we have to pass. So my ID we are getting from that ID, which I am getting from this as a string ID, right? We have to pass over here, and then finally we have to just use that method as a delete method, delete async method, and that's it. So once you're done, what I can do, I have a one another method that load async, right? So simply I have to call this load async method, so that once I delete, so call that method and refresh the list, right? So also I can just put it as a wait, because this is a sync method. Yeah, so this is done. This is that actually very small and clean implementation for the delete. Simply you have to just create a command, and that command actually will handle, will just, you know, uh, pop-up message will be, alert message will be appearing. Based on this yes and no, we will handle, and we will just perform that our DB operation. That's it, right? And now go back to your view dot main page. Over here we have to use we have to just create that delete button. So here we have already some, see, in swap item we have already that delete command, right? So this is the delete command, as like edit we have already the delete command, so that is fine. And here we nothing we have to do, we have similar binding which we have binding for edit, right? So binding source, and then whatever asserts inserter type, and then we have to just using, okay, which view model you're trying to bind, right? So I'm using that main view model we are trying to bind, and this is that path where actually my command. So this is my command, right? So this is that delete hotel command, right? So go back, and here we have to just change it to delete hotel command. This is command is a prefix, whatever actually you have to create that command, so the command would be a prefix, so you have to just change it to like that. Okay, so save it, and also see, this is important, that command parameter, right? So previously in edit we have to pass, complete object, but this time I have to record only that ID, so we can just pass it the ID. That's it. So this is working fine for Android, but we have to do for uh, differently, slightly different for that desktop application as well, right? So if you just scroll down, we have already done for that edit functionality for the desktop, right? Edit, that fly out button. So if you see over here, so yeah, this is flyout base, context flyout. So this is a close attribute. So see here, the flyouts menu, we have that flyouts menu for that edit. So similar, I have to just create for that delete as well. Yeah, for the delete flyout context, we have to just create it over here. Let me create a flyout item for that. So this is that edit flyout item, right? So similar, I have to just delete. So let me quickly add that style. So this is another flyout item, right? And it is just for the delete one. And in this delete one, similar again, we have to do like this command. In this command, we have to just bind the source, then main page content. So if you don't know like why we are actually I'm getting, so just watch my previous session, you will get actually why we record and how we are getting over here. So that actually we have to add it over here, and then be using that path, and then path we have to use that command, right? So which we have to just create it in our view model. So in the view model we have to the delete hotel command, so just we have to refer it over here, and that's it, right? And also one more thing actually we can do over here, this flyout context. So there is a separator as well. So if you have a multiple options for that context, so you can just use menu, yeah, menu flyout separator. So I can just use it, that menu flyout separator, so that it will separate this two menu, right? So save it and just run it for first window and see the actions. So now my application got running, right? And here once I click that right click, so I am able to see the delete options, right? So that is fine. So first what I will do, now we have only one data, so let me add one more data and let me try to delete that guy. So suppose for example this is a paradise, or what is that hotel as of now? As of now we have the paradise, so let me add another one in hotel, and rating would be something 5 out 5, and image something in hotel dot png, and save it. And okay, so now once you save it, now you will to see this guy, and let me try to delete this guy. So let me try to delete. Okay, now got deleted. That means that delete functionality is working fine for that windows, right? So similar we have to do for that android, right? So what I can do, simply side by side just add another one, like for example in, or something else, like for example pizza hotel, and then 4 star, and 4 out of 4, right? And then pizza png, and then save it. And once you save it, now we have the data, right? So once your data, now run it to our android. So let me select that android emulator and run it. Now my application got running android as well, and once I swap right, you will get the delete options, and then delete, and you will get that same confirmation box. If I okay, so that got deleted and reflects that page. Now similar over here, see, android and application, android and desktop app, both are working fine as expecting result. First what you need to do, I have to just create one view model of that view details, as like we have to create over here. If you see, we have to just create a view model for that add and edit page, right? So similar I have to just create for that details page. So let me quickly create a one name view model over here. Let me create a name over here. So I'll just add that name over here. For example, hotel details view models, right? And once I created that here, I have to just implement over here. So first of all, what I need to do over here, I already cover. So I required one hotel model over here. So I can just use it as a hotel model over here, like that, query property using hotel, and that. And in this view model also we have to just inherit that base view model. Let me quickly base view model, this base view model. And then once you're done, and also make it that public. So it is, once you make it public, now we are good to go. So what we need to do, we actually create one observable property over here. So let me add one observable property. So as like, see, we have just get our model over here, so that we have to assign in our observable property, right? So let me just create an observable property over here. So this is my observable property which will bind our view. So that's why I just adding over here. And also see, it is just complaining. So why it's complaining? Because if you're trying to view model, so definitely we have to just create a partial class over here. So once you're done, that is done. And now one more thing actually we have to do in this view model, that is we have to create a one command which will actually redirect to this view model. Once I click the go back function, so it will redirect to the main page. So that we have to just create it. So for that we have to just create an relay model, and let me bring back that relay model to as a that namespace. And also we have to just simply create a go back function, and that's it, right? So this is that go back function which will just redirect to our root component, right? This is simple. So now our view model has been completed. So similar, I just passing that model model means as a data, as a hotel data, as a view model, and that we have to trying to bind. But there is another way, like if you trying to detail space, so definitely you can get as a query parameter as a id, and that id you can just call, create one method, that onload method, which will can get call your Firebase db and get the details, and you can just bind this here. So there's a other approach, so which is it easy, so you can just use it. So as of now I will use it this approach. So let's go to now. Once you create your view model, so I have to just create pages, that XAML page. So let me create that XAML page over here as a content page. So right click on that, view, add, and just create a new item. And in this new item you have to go to the .NET MAUI and go to that content page of that view model, view details view, and just specify on a hotel details page and just add it. So once you add it, now see, now we have a simple style, but we have to just create our own style. So I have already handy that style, so I will not going to write that design, because that design part I actually, it is a pretty much simple, right? So whatever design you want, you can just create it over here. So let me quickly uh, use that design, like for example delete everything and just add that design. So see, I just using the scroll view, and this scroll view I use that stack layout, and we have as a grid, and in this grid we have to set a row and columns and all, right? And then we have to just use a box, view box view, and in this view box actually just we have to bind our image as a hotel model. As of now I don't have that, we have to just import over here, that I will do that. But yeah, I'll just show you that how actually we trying to generate that XAML and then bind it over here. So we have another two level box, right, which will bind our name and description. This is a pretty much simple design, right? And then finally we have a button which will just click on the go back, so it will just call that go back command, and it will go back to the main page, right? So that is done. Now we have to just call this as a view model over here, which view model we have to just create it, right? So this hotel view model we have to create it, so that we have to just bind in over here. So first actually I have to just create add that namespace. So let me add the namespace of view model. So what is my view model? Let me call as a view model. So this is my view model namespace, so let me add this guy. So once we add that view model as a view VM, so let me we have to refer that view as a which view model we have to try to refer, right? So for that, simply I already explained actually, so let me try to do one more time. Yeah, the data type. So data type, and then you can just use which one view model and which view model you have to refer. So I want to refer this hotel view model. So now we are good to go to add our hotel view model, and we can use it easily, right? So now you just once you add, so definitely you will get that whatever their observable property, you will get it over here, and you can just use it. Simple. This is done. And now one more thing actually we have to do in this code behind file of this content page. If you go to over here, see, this is a content page, and this code behind file here we have to also not this one, I actually like similar, like see, this is the add view model, we have to just binding our view model to our binding context, right? Similar, we have to do that on here. Go to the details page over here, and here I just simply just bind that guy, right? So what is my name of that view model? So hotel details page, and just inject over that constructor, and then create a variable of that guy, right? So create a private variable over here, and simply we have to just binding context, right? So this is that binding context, and simply you just bind that context, that's it. So this is another setting you have to do that, which will just refer your view model. So once this done, now we are good to go to create that options and call this the details page, right? So what you need to do, you have to go to that main view model, right? Because this is main view model actually called this main page, and in this main page actually we have to just now create another button. For example, see, this is that we have to done in last time. This is a swap view, right? So swap view, actually we have two options, delete and edit. So now you can just use that swap view as well, like you can just create a swap view item and you can just add another one. But yeah, what I will do for the Android, once I tab on that particular hotel, it should be redirect. So for that, what I can do, I already actually generated that HTML. So see, this is that HTML. Sorry, not as HTML, this is a XML. Sorry, my mistake. So this is the XML, and here what you need to do, if you want to tab, so you have to just use this frame. So frame dot get recognizer, right? And then here you have to just use the tab recognizer, right? And in this tab recognizer, we have that command, and in this command we have to specify again, as like we have to bind previously things, right? For that, here see, we have already bind for that swap item, right? So similar things actually we have to bind. We have to refer by our view model, and we have to set our path, and we have to pass our command, like what kind of command we have to do. So similar binding we have to do in our tab as well. So go to down here. Yeah, so this is that not this is the tab command, and here just binding that view model, right? And gives to this function, means this command, right? So this command as of now we don't have, so that we have to just create it in our view model, because we have to refer this view main view model, right? So go to that main view model and just scroll down in this view model and go down. So like that, actually see, as like the edit hotel and add hotel. So I have to just create that details or details command as well. So what I can do, I simply have to just create a relay command over here. Let me create a relay command. So this is my relay command, and then I have to just create another function, right? So this is my function which I already done, like similar kind of things, right? So we are, yeah, see, like see, add hotels. So I have to just create like shell current sync page, whatever page I want to go to that land, go to that page. So I have to specify, and also parameter I have to specify. So similar, I have to do that over here like that. Okay, see, I just created go to details page, and this is except this hotel model, this particular items, right? The hotel, and then we have to use go to, and this is my page name, right? So this page name will go, and also we have to set true, and here we have to pass whatever item we are getting as a route parameter, we have to pass as a dictionary. So that's it. Once you send this here, actually it will go to our this guy details page, and it will bind first as a route. We get the route, and it will binding over here, that guy, right? So like this way actually it is working. So this is done, and yeah, I think we are good. So this is Android perspective, it is fine, but for Windows desktop app it is not fine, because see, this is tab, right? So if you go to again that main dot page, so see, this is a tab functionality. So tab functionality only work, tab and swipe only support in our Android app, but it is not supporting in our Windows desktop. So for Windows desktop, actually we have to do one more item. So like context fly out item, which we have done for that edit and delete, right? So similar, I have to do for that edit as view as well, right? So let me just quickly create that that guy, for example, layout flyout context for view. So let me add after that over here. So similar, I have to do that. See, I have to use another flyout now separator, and this flyout item we have to use that view, and this is that command, and in this command we have to specify main page, and what is my command name. So this is my command name, which we have to just create in our that view model, and just parameter pass to complete items. That's it, right? So once you're done, let me build it. So now will it succeed? If you see, will it succeed over here, right? And then if you make sure, once you make sure your application is will succeed, so you can run it. But here one issue actually still, see, I just added two new things, right? One view model and one that views, right? XAML page, right? So those things also we have to register as like we have done for before, right? So go to that maui.program.cs file, main file. Over here, see, we are the section we have to just register. So similar, I have to register for that that view model. So what is my view model? My view model name is like, for example, hotel details view models, right? And similar, we have to register that page, which is that builder dot services dot add singleton, and here we have to add that page. So what is my page? The page name is uh hotel details page, right? So this is that one, right? So once you registered over here in this main dot file over here, one last thing actually we have to do to one, this is fine, but actually we also using that routing, right? So navigation, so once you trying to navigation for any page to here and there, so that also we have to routing, we have to set the routing register. So where I can the routing register, if you go to over here app.shell page, now see, we have to register, previously we have to use that add hotel page, like, so similar I have to do that for the over here for that new one. So routing, use the register router, and here just use that name of, and that name of is our add hotel details page, right? And similar I have to do for type of hotel detail page. That's it. Because whatever the new pages you have to edit, and you, if you're trying to do routing here, go back and landing page, right? So that you have to just register routing, so that routing should work, right? So that is done. Now we can run first as a window and see in action. Now we'll succeed and it is running. And once I right click on that, see, I'm getting that new options for that window desktop app, right, as a view. And once I click that view, now I am getting that details page, and detail page also that hotel image and that particular name and their description. And we have a go back button. So once I click that go back, it should be go back to the main list page. So similar, suppose for example I want to see the details of in hotel, so go to that in hotel. So now see, I'm getting that information of the in hotels, everything is working fine, and click the go back, it is go back. So that means this is perfectly working fine for that Android window desktop app. So let me try to run for Android as well. So let me choose that Android application over here and run it to without debugging. Now it's running. So this is my application running on the Android. So let me quickly zoom in. Now see, once I click on that, so it is redirecting to the detail page, and you are able to see that information about that particular hotel. Now click that go back, is go back to that list, and list get loaded over here. And if I change something else, so it is again go back. So like that, actually both are working fine for Android and this guy. So let me show you the side by side for both application. So go back, then simply view, and go back here, back, back. So now see, everything is working fine, and this is that complete now the series, right? And thank you, and have a nice day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.